And you thought we had worked together before.
I think lots of things. It's usually dangerous.
So just to put the league standings in context, Artea has zeros for each stage of the Randomizer League, which means he's in the lead because 0 is good, 1s are bad. Minochi is the only other runner in the race today who has put up a 0 for every other round, but he's not yet done it for this round. Tristal is in the same category. He has put up a 0 in every other round, but not this one yet, although he is not in the race, at least as of yet, and we're already supposed to start, so I guess he's not with us today. So if Artea wins, or actually if any of the league runners win that's not Minochi, then that's blocking him from the chance to get a piece of the lead. The countdown is on. We'll be off to the races soon. Anything you're hoping for other than Imps with Nuke?
No, not Imps with Nuke. I can care less about Imps with Nuke because we can get around that. I want to see Fire 3 Pirates.
That can be really interesting depending on the AoE spells you have available early on. If you have no AoE magic, pirates with AoE are rough to deal with.
They are rough to deal with?
Something like that. Life at level 1 is nice. Bane at level 1. Fire 3 at level 1.
Well,
that's pretty good level 1 magic.
Well, I'm going to get my wish of Fire 3 Pirates just in the opposite way.
You get your pirates extra crispy instead of original.
Hey, as long as I still have the 11 herbs and spices, I'm good.
It might only be salty.
I'm not running. I'm not going to be salty at all.
Soft potions rolled on the cheap side. Everything else looks a little expensive. As far as the items go, you won't be able to buy a lot of save items with cabins that expensive early on.
We're already seeing some interesting route diversions this year as Minochi heading straight to the Temple of Fiends. Using the cabin here, I'm going to do some resetting to get the proper enemy encounters. We've got Artea and Sho going ahead and just killing imps. Fire 3, all of the imps. And imps do have something. Imps have mute, which sucks if your whole goal is Fire 3.
Well, you got enough people to cast. You're hoping to get one of them off. 6k gold in the Temple of Fiends is actually a nice little payday.
And there's the muting imps again, giving Sho all kinds of trouble.
Well, Minochi can't blame this one on me. Bones have Blizzard, and that one's Maya's role, not mine.
So what you're saying is it's bone-rattlingly cold?
More like it'll chill you to the bone.
50-50 which one I want to go with. Oh, Ghoul has Poison Touch.
What doesn't have Poison Touch? There's a lot of poisons available in any given run.
That's true. Anything from Marsh Cave and Earth Cave pretty much has Poison Touch. But let's see. Let's go ahead and make Crispy Garland. Wait, that sounds like a really, really bad Christmas decoration.
Christmas decoration or one of those food items that's everywhere but nobody wants it?
No, that's called fruitcake.
Alright, you rescue a princess, you get a bridge, and a slightly used and authentic antique musical instrument.
Yep. Interesting thing here is I've been watching so much of the NPC shuffle beta that wait, this is too vanilla for me.
It's like this is even random anymore.
I know, right?
So nothing too crazy out of Garland, and that means they'll be on their way to Provoca. We haven't seen anything on the overworld that would trip them up too much. The bones would be problematic, but they're only going to be in dungeons. It does make Marsh Cave not particularly inviting, though.
Which means it's going to be required.
Probably. I thought you were going to make a cold shoulder joke, though.
I can't waste all of my puns in the first 10 minutes.
I thought you just came up with new ones as you went.
True, but you know, Blizzard Bones, that's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Assuming we have to go to the Marsh Cave, maybe they'll wreck you and have TNT available here in Matoya's Cave. That's what Artea's hoping for.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen. Damn, it happened.
You can hashtag blame Artea, since you can't blame yourself. Actually, you can blame yourself. Go right ahead. Blame yourself.
Everyone else can hashtag blame TG. That's fine. I don't hashtag myself, but I'm not telling you you can't hashtag me.
All right, so we've got TNT. Don't be surprised if Artea goes Marsh anyways, because he's Artea. Everybody else is likely to skip it.
I mean, you have the TNT. You'll definitely have access to doing, you know, you'll get the canoe. You'll have access to Gurgur. You don't do Marsh Cave unless you have to.
The counter argument is what I was talking about in the warm-up with the tail. If you find, say, the tail or the floater that much before anybody else does, it's a tremendous time advantage. And Artea here is just playing defense. Artea wants to win, or it basically doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where he finishes. It doesn't matter if he's second. It doesn't matter if he's third. It doesn't matter if he is 1 second behind the winner. His goal is to win by the biggest margin possible.
Right, and that's why he's going for this super high-risk strategy of Black Belt. Oh my gosh, we've got level 2 nuke. All of the explosions happening. Level 1 Fire 3, level 2 nuke. We've got some quadruple X action happening as well, so this is quite interesting.
Whoa. Let's keep this PG stream here.
Yeah,
Fade's at level 2, so you're probably going to be fine with your red mage either way. I mean, he's going to be able to learn nuke, and you take that over Fade, but
that white mage that Minochi's got is going to be really happy to find that.
Yeah, that basically means that in Minochi's case, he's not giving anything up by having the white mage instead of a black or second red mage.
Interesting
Second
thing
black
here.
or red mage.
Artea going into the pirate fight, opting to do some running strats. It means he's trying to kill something.
Probably the Dan #1, because it's basically going to be about 50% hit rate on targeting Dan, I should say. Not necessarily the hit rate, but they'll go after Dan 50% of the time, approximately. But be careful doing math on Twitch, because you shouldn't.
We had this discussion before we got in. Why are you talking numbers? And we do have Poison Touch Pirates. I mean, it does make sense. They are green. Minochi going to be the first one to take out the pirates. That's just because Minochi went ahead and used Fade. We are going to go ahead and punch some pirates now. And now we're going to get... Here we go. I'm getting my wish. I'm getting my Fire 3 pirates.
You can do statistics on Twitch, just not math. Very different. So they will be on the look for the key items that you see on the tracker. They will have to find the crown, they will have to find the tail, they will have to find the floater, and they will have to find the slab. The bottle is going to be for sale in one of the item shops somewhere in the world. And looks like Minochi says the magic selection is good enough to head over to Peninsula Power and get extra levels.
I mean, I don't blame him. You get Nuke, you get Fire 3, you got Fade. It's absolutely good enough. And all three of our owners do have the loot already, so just keeping that in mind.
Honestly, the bigger factor to me is having that house, because that means not only can he level up, he can get the magic points back and then do it all over again. So he could get double digits on his levels here easily.
And the good thing... Go.
If you're going to skip the Marsh Cave, then that play makes a lot of sense, because then you'll be that much better off in the Crescent Lake area. And
we got Blaze Ponies.
So I guess you could say they have a blazing saddle?
Ah, nice. There we go.
I reached for that one.
No, you didn't, because I was going to make the same one.
Well, then you would have been the one to reach for it.
No, I never reach.
These giants, though, seem to possibly be a little high on their magic defense because Nuka is not doing the damage it should. There's finally a good hit, but basically he's getting half damage because they're resisting the spell. And that was happening pretty consistently with them.
We're also getting some very delicious extra crispy imps over here on show side, and more giants. All of the giants. Home of the giants. Although that's not the Hall of the Giants, that's in the Earth Cave.
Yeah, but Minochi's resetting out of these now that he's seen how they're resisting, not to mention the fact that apparently they have glance. They're not a particularly inviting encounter, although now that he's seen several encounters, he might be thinking, well, apparently this is as good as it gets.
And show immediately, because we're the same section, get what you're looking for, zombies and trolls.
The experience modifier that they're playing with is 2.2 times with no flat rate, so high experience reward enemies are going to be your best bet versus, say, the pack enemies that benefit from the flat bonus. If you're playing with plus 500, then you go in against a pack of imps and they will give you level 1 to 5 for everybody in your party on the first level. That's how much that matters. You do it with them at 5 times experience, you'll be lucky if you get a level.
Yeah, but Minochi did go ahead and get his fighter glance, and he's just gonna, keep the fighter stoned. I mean, I'm not telling anybody how to live your life, but fighting giants while stoned, probably not the best life decision.
Well, what this will do is it'll funnel experience to those 3 mages. They'll get their levels, and importantly, they'll get their spell charges, which is really what Minochi is looking for right here. The fighter, he benefits from leveling up, but he doesn't need any recovery when he levels up to get the benefits of it. He gets his hit points. He doesn't have magic points that he's getting that you have to recover. So when you're doing an early grind like that, definitely more important to funnel the experience into the mages.
Yeah, the only concern there for the fighter is depending on how much you get your levels and how early you find the tail. When you level up into the knight, you do get some white magic slots. Earliest you'll be able to get those at level 15, and then every 2 levels after. So say you class change at level 16, you'll get them at 17, 19, 21, and 23. That's the only thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, and so far what we've seen is life would be the most important spell that you could potentially get the knight. I don't know if that was any learnable spot by the knight, but that is the one you would want them to get out of what we've seen so far. I know Fade sounds great, but hey, if you've only got 1 charge of Fade, it's not going to do that much for you. But life can recover you after a really bad boss fight. It can get the white mage alive, and the white mage can get everybody else alive.
Excuse me about that. Had a little bit of a dapper cough there.
The other thing about knowing going into this seed that you will class change is when you bring a white mage or black mage, you know that means you have the ability to learn every white and black magic spell. Whereas in most runs you don't know, because you don't know if you're going to find the tail, and it would usually be a luxury. But when you know you have to find it and do the class change, then you know you have access to every spell.
This giant here has glance, has snorting, giving Artea the business here. 3 fire 3s, just not wow.
Okay, so you remember what I said about Minochi's side, where it made all the sense in the world to give the mages the experience and not the fighter? Well, it's the complete opposite for Artea. He wants to get the black belt every level possible.
Right, especially before we class change here as well, because of the way the leveling mechanics work.
Yeah, if he finds tail, don't be surprised if he just has it sitting in his inventory till basically he's ready to go to Temple of Fiends Revisited. Because he'd have no reason to use it otherwise.
Right, because if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, the black belt gets a better magic defense level up than the master does.
Yeah, it's about 4 points a level, I believe, is the spread. So when you start talking about the difference in even 10 levels. That's 50 magic defense, which is quite significant.
And this is going to be one of those situations where LoL solos everything, then yeah, you want as much defense as possible. The other big thing that Artea is going to be looking for here is going to be the power gauntlet.
Our stats are capped at 220. We have seen in this round how bad that can look. It definitely means stuff is likely to roll up. Silver bracelets for sale here in Elfland. That's pretty nice defense, but probably not enough money to benefit from it.
Ooh, fast is at level 3. That's something that Artea is going to be happy to see, because that means the Red Mage can probably learn it.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for, the support magic out of the Red Mage, which he did have the option. He could Dan the Red Mage instead and use a Black Mage, but the Black Mage has no chance to learn life, and Red Wizard has more than a 50% chance at least.
Did you just say he could, quote, Dan the Red Mage?
Yes, Dan is a verb.
That's fantastic.
Well, danning is a verb.
I have an
It's a noun
emote
when
showing
you're
you what
talking
Dan.
about
I have an
The
emote
verb
showing
when
you
you're
what
talking
danning
about
is.
danning.
But no, if you take a look at the chat, there is an emote telling you and showing you what danning is.
Yes, it's a perfect representation of danning. Although it should probably be more properly represented with a knife in the back.
True, I mean, but danning.
But we could say that that is the knife on fire, which would be even better.
True, but danning, isn't that sort of like the new millennium way of planking? Or corpsing?
More the speedrunners. It's the speedrunners meme.
Fair enough.
I mean, in Final Fantasy IV, didn't everybody do that with Edward?
You mean that guy right there?
Pretty much.
Anything else you want to see?
Any other
if I can pull
emotes
any-
you'd like me to queue up for you?
Please do.
Just say dapper? With no context? Pro rings in Melmon. That is a big find. That's a big armor shop to have the pro rings and gold bracelets. Both things you would want for your mages.
Wait, Melmon's being useful?
Yeah, slightly. Well, Warp 2, that is a big find.
Nobody ever likes Melmond.
Well, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can't use it.
Oh, very much so. I'm not gonna. It's Melmond.
Was that the ogres with Brack, or was that the creeps? I missed it, but either way, it makes them unpleasant.
I believe it was the ogres, but we also have Minochi. It looks like you're going down to the Earth Cave, and we've got the shadows here. Shadows are one of the enemies in the game, specifically that you hope roll no skills and no spells, because they have a 90% ambush rate, and that means usually they will destroy you.
So what I'll be curious to see is how far Minochi takes this play. The other day, the winning strategy was not only to check the Earth Cave, but to go to the second floor. And even if you're not equipped to fight the Earths, seeing what's in the other treasure chests can make a big difference.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're definitely equipped to fight the Earths. We have Nuke.
That does go a long way, but you also have to fight your way out.
True.
Artea, meanwhile, is going to spend a lot of time getting a hot foot because he's going to walk through the lava as much as possible. When you walk through the lava, you don't get encounters, so it's a good thing.
Lava
And the
alone.
fighters don't look like they're going to be particularly cooperative today.
When is an elemental ever cooperative? Have you not played D&D?
Only the Final Fantasy version of it.
Well, that's what it's based off of, so.
Artea is still a little held back with this black belt right now because the levels are still low. It's going to take level 16 before you really start seeing the impact of it. Otherwise, it's pretty much up to the Red Mage to carry these encounters.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a bit of an Agama grind coming up here.
From Artea, I'd be absolutely stunned if I saw it.
Not a fan of the Agama grind?
He is not.
Well, then again, you were stunned when you saw the fact that Artea was running a black belt. So, I mean, at this point, why not just go full on, anti everything you know? Get the black belt, go with the Agama grind. I mean, me personally, I'm team I'm team steak. So, I mean, give me some delicious snack foods.
I have no idea how we got there.
Agamas and Tyros, they're the two most tasty treats when it comes to Final Fantasy 1. Have you ever had Agama jerky?
Can't say that I have. I'm not sure I want anything the Agamas have touched or been a part of.
It's
Just
nice.
their experience. That's
Yeah,
plenty for me.
It was the Agama jerky. It's a little sweet, a little spicy, a little smoky. It's really good.
Well, Artea is able to make a little bit better progress here now. He's starting to get those levels. I'm not sure how many houses he has, but with this strategy, it's really important to have a few in the bank, which, believe me, Artea knows.
We got a level 6 temper over on Minochi's side in Crescent Lake.
Another very good support spell. How much you're going to use it at level 6? Probably not a lot. We can't even have Agama effects. We're not in again Agama grind.
Yeah, we gotta wait for that. And also down on the bottom left-hand side, show not getting impeded at all by that 4-peat encounter.
No, that is a wonderful EXP party. Just waiting for you to collect it. So if you're able to manipulate those outside of Crescent Lake and get to that fight easily, it's something you absolutely want to do with a good AoE.
Yeah, well, the thing there is the fact that I'm guessing you get experience by the leg.
It's possible. Or at least the individual pod of the body. Something like that. Based on Show's movements, I'm guessing he is going to make the same play as Minochi, which is go to Castle Ordeal first. Thanks to the randomizer, you're able to do this early. If you ever tried to do it in the vanilla game, you can't do it without the crown, but you wouldn't know that because you already have the crown. But only in the randomizer can you do it without even having defeated a fiend yet.
Yeah, the other thing to note is in the vanilla game, you have the crown. You don't have to talk to the old man.
I never talked to the old man. He looked grouchy. I didn't want to start a conversation.
But we do have the randomized teleporter puzzle over here. So that's going to be one thing to take a One thing to be aware of is if you go through too many teleporters, and Minochi just absolutely kills it there, then you have a chance to soft lock the game if you open your menu. So just be careful when doing the randomized ordeal puzzle.
But understand, you can go through over 30 pillars. You're not going to have that issue. It's just an extreme possibility. It's also really easy to avoid if you have warp charges, because you can just take a warp back to before you walked into the wrong pillar and walk into the right one instead.
Well, what if I want to walk into the left one?
The left one might be the right one.
But it can't be the right one, it's the left one.
What if it's the down one and there is no left one? Thor's Hammer is a good pickup for Artea.
Yes, we finally got Mjolnir.
You can use it to cast free lit 2s with the black belt for the rest of this seed. Dragon Armor is going to be a great find for everybody not named Artea. Artea will just sell it for money.
And there's the
Power
power
Gauntlet is a
glove.
great find, period.
Yeah, that's huge. That's what he was looking to find. So the power gauntlet, absolutely.
The Adamant for Minochi is also a great find. This has been a very rewarding Castle Ordeals, if not for progression item. And Ribbon is, well, you're going to need at least one, so it's not a bad find either.
Well,
No required item, but
yeah, I mean, we got the adamant, we got the ribbon. Not the worst castle ordeals ever.
so Sho and Minochi are able to pick up the adamant. That means they're going to be able to turn it in for Excalibur, which is going to be the second best weapon in the game, only equipable by the night.
And conveniently enough, Minochi and Sho both are going to have one.
Yeah, Artea is very much going to want that ribbon. There's 3 of them in treasure chests throughout the game. This one came out of the incentive pool, so there's still 2 more in treasure chests somewhere in the world. There won't be another one in an incentive chest, however, which the only other incentive is the ice cave.
Oh, so we don't have the expanded incentivized chests in this one?
I'm sorry, what's that?
So none of the expanded incentivized chests yet.
No, although we're using the newer version of the randomizer, using the same league rules. So it's incentive ordeal and ice cave. There's no other incentive locations, and the incentive item pool is the same as Artea finds the Zeus gauntlet. So plenty of lit 2 charges available now.
You know what that means? Sea Shrine!
Hadn't found the bottle or the floater yet, so it'd be a little difficult to get there.
Hey, it's enough out of you.
Okay, you want to do the rest of this one solo then?
I don't think the people want that.
The Cerebus is a very unfortunate encounter because I never know if they're runnable or not. If they're there with Wiz Ogres, they are unrunnable. If they're there by themselves, I never know.
Ooh, it looks like we're getting a zombie D-grind by Sho over here in the bottom right. And having all the Fire 3 is definitely something to look into.
Yeah, that'll do better than the Harm 4, actually. It doesn't seem like it should, but the undead just don't have a weakness to harm spells, which I think was kind of an oversight in the original game, but whatever. The good news is with level 1, you have a lot of charges of Fire 3.
Yeah, but let's be honest, there were lots of oversights in the original game.
I mean, hey, they got it out there and they changed the face to video gaming for it, so I'll take it.
Also, we've got Agamas.
We have a Agama, it's not plural.
It can be.
It looks like these zombie dragons are low HPs, so both Minochi and Sho have found them very inviting to get a few extra levels on. And I mean, that's...
Uh-oh. We have glancing Agama, so we're probably not going to see an Agama grind.
Especially with no ribbon. Opal Shield, that's just lunch money for Artea. He's finding all this great equipment for a knight that his knight can't use because he doesn't have one. One of the newer features that's coming down the road in Final Fantasy Randomizer is they're going to change the run option to a wait option if you're in an unrunnable encounter, like that Wiz Ogre, so you'll actually know that you can't get away. It's also true of the zombie dragons. You can't actually run away from them, even though obviously the runners don't want to. They're intentionally taking these fights, but you see the run option doesn't change. And there's nothing in the game that will actually tell you, you can't run away from this encounter.
Yeah, you just have to know. One thing to remember about those, in the game, if you get into an encounter that says chance to strike first or monster struck first, you are guaranteed that both of those styles of encounters are runnable. So that is the only indication the game will give you about an encounter being runnable. So we're going to go ahead and Artea reviving Dan and Dan just for some sacrificial fodder on Carrie.
No charges of the Quad X, but he wants to do that because if Carrie is below 300 HP,
oh
then
no,
that's GG. Well, of course, it's the lowest percentage chance, so that's what happened.
But Dan with the quadruple X hitting it. So we are going to go ahead and kill Carrie, but Black Belt not going to get any of that delicious experience.
Yeah, that wasn't a worst case scenario for him because he still got out of the fight, but losing the black belt is not good. But it is our first orb restored for Artea.
Yep. And I do want to apologize to everybody. We are having some technical issues on our tracking side. So we'll do our best here to keep track of what's going on and who has what for you. But we are having some issues there, so that's why you're not getting all the pretty pictures.
What we've seen so far is Ordeal had the Adamant and Ribbon. We've seen that out of Show and Minochi. The Volcano mostly had a lot of fighter stuff like the Dragon Armor, which would be good. It also had Zeus, Gauntlet, Thor's Hammer, but none of the required items, including floaters. So based on our options, we're either looking at Floater, Ruby, or Crown, being in either Ice Cave or Marsh.
I told you Marsh would be required.
This is also one where, for Minochi and Show, they would be very rewarded if they got an early tail. Because with the Excalibur in hand, even without Moss Immune, you'd have a great source of damage against everything that has an elemental weakness. Which does not include Chaos, but it's pretty well everything else.
Yep, Minochi going to go ahead and park over to the north side of everything. We are getting some canoe strats happening, and if I remember my maps correctly, that's Ice Cave.
Are you mapping live on Twitch?
No,
okay.
I'm cartographing.
Okay, fair enough. But yes, he's on the path to the Ice Cave, and he's going to be our first runner to see that. I missed this one question I have, which is, did he get Warp? Because it makes this a little easier.
Yes, with Warp you can cheese the chest, the incentivized chest, and not have to worry about doing 2 loops. Not to be confused with Fruit Loops, because one of those is delicious and one of those is obnoxious.
Alright, Minochi with the Ice Cave has a couple of unrunnable fights. This is one of them. But the wizards in particular.
Not gonna lie, the Ice Cave absolutely, even the randomizer scares the crap out of me because cockatrices.
Ice Cave was so bad in vanilla that it's almost always going to be better in randomizer. Well, it looks like whatever's in Ice Cave, all 3 of our featured runners are going to find it in pretty short order.
Yeah, we're going to have the infamous high five action happening. All 3 runners going into get their chill on as we have some Ice Cave action.
Well, of our featured runners, nobody made the call to go to Marsh, which, with this spell selection, would not have been a bad play. But nobody made it today.
True, but do you want to go to Marsh when you know you have to deal with the bone chillingness?
That's the most compelling argument against it, but you still might explore it anyways, because Fire 3 is going to roast them. But,
hey, I prefer slow roasting. You use the bones as some seasoning for your stock. Slow roast them, slow cook them, get all the flavor out of them. Just Fire 3 blast them. It's not going to work. Doesn't work for me.
Here's another one of the unrunnable encounters in the Ice Cave, the Frost Giant, Frost Wolf combination. And there's the Wizards, also unrunnable on Show's side. And if Minochi has Warp, we're about to see, and he does because he wouldn't move like that if he didn't.
Nope, because he's going to warp up and just hit all 3 chests. And there we have the vanilla floater. So Minochi's going to be the first of our 3 runners to get Airship access here. But all of our runners are going to be here pretty quickly.
Yeah, Minochi got it at 33 minutes. and nobody else is going to be within a minute of him. So definitely the earliest advantage. Of course, vanilla floater, and here I don't have any root beer. Root beer float.
I knew you were going with that. That's a bit of a stretch, though.
Maybe I just want a root beer float.
That's fine. I mean, you can certainly have root beer float if you want. Just don't mug me about it.
I mean, who would make a root beer float with mug when you've got A and W on the table, man? That just doesn't even work. That's like, I just don't even know what to say to you.
I mean, wait, are we really having this right? Because the correct answer is, IBC.
Yes. So, 30 minutes in, what we're looking at is the runners are searching for their next progression items. Ooh, something had crack. The frost wolves have crack. That is, that causes a wipe for Artea. That is a big difference in routing choices because Sho and Minochi have the ribbon. Won't make you completely immune to crack, but it certainly helps with the resistance. They also probably have a little bit higher levels from doing the zombie dragon grind, which means that they will resist it a little bit more. So you saw them
also
at a 1 in 4 success rate against their party versus a lot more successful on Artea's.
Yeah, if you also didn't notice, the Frostwolves also have hold just because.
Stay frosty, my friends.
Wow.
Just taking a quick look, it looks like one of our off-stream runners has already picked up the Mystic Key. And I don't know what route they took to get that, but
Marsh Cave route.
That's got to be the case. It must have been the crown there.
Marsh Cave or Earth Cave.
So it's a very interesting route divergence. What it will mean is he's able to cover that ground, and if it's in the Marsh Cave, nobody's going there with the airship. So that could potentially pay off in a big way later on.
Yeah, I mean, especially if, you need the Mystic Key anyway to beat the game because there are some locked doors, but especially if, you're going to find the tail in one of the, we'll say one of the locked chests down in Marsh Cave.
So just based on percentages, when you have the airship, runners are going to go for Sea Shrine and Mirage Tower, Sky Castle before they go to Earth Cave because there's more treasure chests there. That's also true of Marsh Cave. In fact, if you don't have a required Marsh Cave for TNT, it feels bad to go check that without having the Mystic Key already, because then you still have 3 treasure chests you're not looking at.
Yep, and the Frost Wolves having all sorts of fun. They have crack, they have snorting, they have hold. I mean, they're just absolutely giving everybody the business here. Ice Cave living up to its name of being an absolute pain in the tushka.
Well, one thing they're not going to find is the Opal Bracelet, because that's locked with the dwarfs. And just to give credit where it's due, it's I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I think it's Will Siosis, who has the Mystic Key and is working on checking those now. But we'll keep things back here on our featured runners. Minochi is done with the Ice Cave, and he's going to be going to pick up an airship.
Assuming he can actually get back to the canoe.
Well, once you're back on the overworld, you should have a good stock of save items, and he will make use of that to cut down on his encounters. What we're dealing with is, imagine having your NES in front of you. If you turn the power off and turn it back on again, you will go to the start of the encounter table. If you hit the reset button, you will keep wherever you are in the encounter table. So Minochi is alternating those to reduce the number of encounters he has to face on the overworld. He's hitting the power button first, turning it off, turning it on again, to go to the start, there's at least 2 quick encounters, and then when he does reset out of those, he skips them, and then he's able to use the long gap in between.
Yeah, that's a technique you'll also see in the speed run of this game. Runners will go ahead and reset to get proper step routing and to make it so that the ice cave specifically is not as dangerous, because in the vanilla route of this game, the ice cave route routes out a lot of the horrible encounters like sorcerers.
Yeah, now they cannot do that in the randomizer, although that part of the behavior is exactly the same. What's different is the order in which you get encounters. So if you're going to get 8 encounters, what might be encounter 1 in the vanilla game might be the 3rd encounter you get in the randomizer. Hopefully I did an okay job of explaining that.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I think, it could have been better, but then again, it's all in the eye of the beholder, because that's what Show is just fighting.
Well, he's not fighting it now, so the joke doesn't work anymore.
Well, I had to let you finish your explanation.
Well, I guess there's something to be said for politeness. So Minochi has gone to the volcano, which has the advantage of being a required dungeon.
Yes, Ultra Swimmer. One of the things that, again, being a randomizer, one of the things that can happen is people can import their own sprite options into the game. There are female Warrior of Light options as well as that. As you can see, the Black Belt sprite Artea is using is just one of those.
That comes from patching your own version of the game, which is allowed, but you also bear the responsibility if anything goes wrong. So we saw somebody in one of these races, and I can't remember when it was, but I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything. But we saw a graphics glitch on their game, which made it clear there was something different versus everyone else. They voluntarily withdrawed from that race. But if you do any of these patches, you bear the responsibility for them. And that's just kind of an insurance to make sure nobody is doing anything crazy. Like if we saw somebody get a completely different encounter rate than everybody else, it would stand out quite a lot.
Yeah, and
but as long as it's just graphical, you're allowed to do it. That's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, to me it's one of those same things. It's like people importing their own custom sprites for Zelda 1 randomizer. You have a bunch of people. You've got there's a little Z, there's a little Z sprite. There is the Kirby sprite set that Crimson Avix uses. There's the Legacy of the Wizard sprite set that Matrick and Dragon Dark use. So yeah, I love the option to just sort of customize things and make it your own.
Now, this is a place Artea might spend a lot of time, because this is a high-reward single encounter enemy. This could pay off a lot for his black belt, and if he is going to do the solo black belt strats, then I wouldn't be surprised at all. Never mind. No reason to even finish the whole posturing theory.
Oh, come
Maybe
on.
he's done with the solo black belt strats.
I like the posturing.
What most people would have done in Artea's situation, but Artea is Artea, not most people, is take that black belt to, say, level 32, which would make it very strong and ready to just wreck any boss you fight the rest of the game, which speeds up your time in combat considerably. Which is a strategy Artea doesn't like, which is why I was surprised in the first place when he brought the black belt. Then again, it just also might be the case of you got the floater and you want to get it out of here before you do anything. And Artea is out of there.
So everyone has airship access, and we got some white shirt action for show, so we're going to have somebody looking oh so pretty.
You don't even have to equip it for it to be useful. Every time you use it in battle, free cast of Invis 2, which improves your party's evade. Great item to find. The earlier the better, because it just means you can do a lot of fights that much safer. And looks like these angry wolves are giving Show's party the business. I assume the red mage is the one that has the ribbon equipped, so he does all right there, but might have to go stock up on a few more softs.
Yes, the red mage is the one that had the ribbon equipped. We saw that in the ice cave.
Looks like Show's gonna turn in the adamant, get the Excalibur. Which, strangely enough, does not make you the king. But it's a good weapon still.
See, I wouldn't want to be the king. I'd prefer to be Merlin anyway.
Right, so with the airship, you have basically full access to the world now. Can't necessarily go into every dungeon, but you can go to every area of the world. And Show is using that to try and find free stuff. Particularly, he'd like to find the Dale.
Again, we heard at the beginning, everyone wants to find the tail. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do.
He'd also be quite happy about finding the slab or crown.
Also, we've got some delicious steaks happening over on Artea's side.
Oh, the wings fight back, though. They've got nuke. The wyverns have nuke.
Wait, is this Final Fantasy 1 or Final Fantasy 4?
I mean, I said nuke, not mega nuke. Question in chat, is there an incentive to use fighter? The simple answer is it improves your running chance. The longer answer is if you find, well, if you are going to class change, so with Katana or with Masamune, the ninja could be quite the powerhouse for melee attacks.
Z-Man dropping knowledge. Wyverns have nuke in Final Fantasy 4. You just never see it because you're dead.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's just a question of what they're known for.
Death, destruction, and Cheerios.
You're just getting all the breakfast cereals in today, aren't you?
I got plenty of tricks up my sleeve.
We saw the gold bracelets and you didn't even make a Golden Grams reference. I mean, geez, man.
I didn't see the gold bracelets.
Well, that's what you get for not paying attention then. So, Ice Armor is another good find for a knight that Artea doesn't have. But the fighter is able to equip ice and fire gear, which you can equip one of the armor, one of the shield, and get resistances to both those spells, which is quite useful if you don't have a ribbon. Now Show is going to the volcano.
Yep, we have a Vorpal sword. You know, nice little weapon to find. You know, Masamune and Excalibur are going to be much nicer. But hey, it's there if you have it.
I mean, you could sell it for more heal potions or something. Alright, so we're kind of in a holding pattern until somebody goes into another dungeon. Minochi is picking up the rod early. Actually, he didn't do it first thing, but it's a good thing to do once you have the airship to make sure you don't forget it.
Yep, but with picking up the rod, are we gonna? I was gonna say, are we gonna see Earth Cave? We might be seeing Earth Cave. Yeah, Minochi's going Earth Cave.
I think he already did the first floor. That was him, right?
That was him. Yes.
Okay, so now he can full clear it. He's got plenty of levels that this shouldn't be that hard.
Nope. And are we gonna see some? Yeah, we're gonna see Onrak over on Artea's side as well. We are still looking for the bottle, and which item shop is going to contain the bottle.
Yeah, the nice thing about checking OnRack, though, is the waterfall is right here as well, so you're able to pick up the cube as well as those treasure chests.
I still prefer lamp over cube.
And the bottle is not for sale in OnRack, so it's either the Oasis or Lazy Gaia. And I didn't see Artea check the Oasis.
Time to check Lazy Gaia.
Also, I'm very interested to see what Minochi's going to run into, because there is a pretty strong chance this is where the crown is. There's the bottle in Gaia. When I say that, it's either here or it's in Marsh Cave. That much we're pretty sure of right now.
Yeah. But I always love that. Well, we have this bottle. We don't know what it does. Has anyone opened the bottle? Well, no. Why would we open the bottle? Well, there's a cork in it. Why wouldn't you open the bottle? Why would I want to open the bottle? See, had they just opened the bottle, this wouldn't be an issue.
Which, by the way, in case anybody's curious, you can buy more versions of the bottle when it's for sale anywhere but the Oasis. You just can't use it again. It'll just sit there taking up space.
Hey, there might be a little dust on the bottle.
But don't let it fool you about what's inside.
Oh, I am so impressed you knew where I was going with that. Like, I'm going to pull a country song out of my hat here. I don't know if we're going to know where we're going.
Alright, so Artea's gone back for the gold bracelets pro rings. Those are very cheap gold bracelets, actually.
Yeah, the price of gold must be falling.
It's also
Or
good for him.
it's Melman, so it's fool's gold bracelets.
That could be. But he's not going to find an opal bracelet anytime soon, so it's very good. There's Minochi finding the crown. It is in Earth Cave.
Yep, so that Earth Cave play gonna give Minochi a huge advantage. Sho does go ahead and find the Power Glove as well. Gonna help him out not nearly as much as it's gonna help Artea with the Black Belt, but still always happy to find the Power Glove.
You know, sometimes you just need more damage to be able to hit bosses harder, and Power Gauntlet's very good at that, since you get unlimited uses.
The Power Gauntlet is one of those items that will cast a spell, in this case, Saber. So we're going to go ahead and get the vampire out of the way here in Minochi's side here. Yes, the vampire. It's going to be super easy now, but we still have vampire either way.
And the vampire can still have stuff that makes him nasty. It's just often we're so overpowered when you get here that you don't even notice. I mean, he was not designed with you having level 1 or level 2 nuke in mind.
Nothing in this game was designed with you having level 2 nuke in mind.
Question in chat, has Saber been fixed in the rando? Yes, it has. A lot of spells have gotten fixed in the randomizer.
The only one that hasn't is Exfer.
You haven't been keeping up with the beta news.
It's a beta. It's not out officially, is it?
Are you denying that you kept up with it? Because that seemed like a sidestep to me.
I knew perfectly well Exfer was being worked on, but it's not out in the official release. It's a beta. Just
Comment in
saying.
chat. Inputs are too fast. Can't see what's going on. What's going on is they're trying to save the world. Or restoring the orbs, which means defeating the Fiends. And or any obstacles along the way, like these Earth Elementals.
Right, and to do that, we're going to go in the dungeons, kill enemies to get more experience, to get more loot, to get more gold, to get more weapons, to kill more enemies, to get more experience, to get more loot, to get more gold.
And get more casts of nuke. Everybody say hi to the vampire.
Hi, vampire!
You're too slow, he's already dead.
Bye, vampire! So we have Artea also in the Earth Cave, as Sho is doing some volcano exploration strats, continuing his exploration through Gurgu.
Yeah, still haven't seen anybody make the Marsh play. But
Well,
I guess the Earth Cave looked more inviting. I don't think Artea went to Ordeals, though.
no, he didn't. I mean, the only thing he'll be getting out of there is the ribbon.
That's a biggie, especially when it's your first. Second ribbon, third ribbon, you can get away with, but the first ribbon's pretty important.
And for Artea specifically, that's all he's going to need.
Alright, Sho is almost done with the volcano. Minochi is crawling his way through this ice cave. I was very interested that Artea found the bottle, but then didn't use it. I mean, obviously he still can, but it seems
No,
like if you're going to explore that, that's the reason you would want to.
I thought Artea got the Oxio. So we have a question in chat. How long do these runs usually take? And the answer is definitely maybe. But it's usually anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the settings, what spells enemies have, what spells you have access to, your party. There's a lot of variables, but picture an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, at this point, we're going to see the winning time probably be a little bit nicer because of finding the crown at this point. If the crown had been more difficult to find, it looks like the wizards are turning people to stone too. The harder one of the items is to find, the longer that's going to take, but an experienced runner who's really good at executing the game, like we're seeing 3 of them here, they could probably check every chest in the game in under an hour.
Yeah, the big thing we're waiting to take a look at here is we still need tail.
Class change is one of the required rules for this round, so the sooner you find it, the better. Except in Artea's case. He's fine waiting.
Yep. And Sho also going to the Earth Cave, so everybody making the Earth Cave play, which is interesting. Maybe those Blizzard Bones really, really turning everybody off to the Marsh Cave.
Historically, this has not been the play that people would make, so I wonder if part of it isn't everybody coming to the conclusion that they're going to be counter strategy. But there's a lot of people who do prefer Earth Cave over Marsh Cave. The real difference is that in Artea's case, he could have gone to the Sea Shrine instead, so he intentionally picked the Earth Cave first.
Not sure why anyone would intentionally pick the Earth Cave, but...
You know, for him, I think that is a case of it's win or bust for Artea. He's trying to win to block everybody on the points side. So if he's able to do that to do that effectively, it's find a gamble that'll work. And so coming here first, I mean, who would come here first instead of going to the Sea Shrine? Well, apparently everybody would.
Well, at least everybody we're looking at here on screen. Ooh, we've got a stun lock over on Artea's side. Image is doing image things. We've also got Lich happening down on Monochi's side. We've got Harm, we've got Nuke, we've got Fade, we've got Fire 3. Lich does not stand a chance.
Yeah, he's not going to live through too many attacks. Even with 200% of HP, if you happen to have that, it's still not going to be a lot because his vanilla HP isn't very much.
400, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so you give him 800 HP, and that's still not a lot. Not when you're casting level 1 nukes.
Now, everyone's favorite enemy, Astos, the Dark Elf. Not to be confused with the Dark Elf in Final Fantasy IV, although they do have much, much, much similar sprites.
I just assumed the Dark Elf in Final Fantasy IV was his descendant. You know, like how Chrono Trigger has Ozzy, and then Ozzy the 18th or whatever.
Yeah, but Chrono Trigger's a game all about time travel, so that would make sense.
Well, nobody remembers the time loop from Final Fantasy 1, so it can be in the same world and nobody would know it.
I remember it. Pepperidge Farm remembers, too.
Monochi now has the herb. He's able to take that down to the prince and get the Mystic Key. Artea's got his crown, which probably feels really good at the time you pick it up because you're like, who else is going to find that here? Everybody. Everybody's going to find it here.
Yep. So we are turning in the herb. Normally I have an issue with the remastering, like the PS1 game, with some of the new names that they have, but I do enjoy the fact that the herb was renamed the Jolt Tonic.
Okay. Insert cola jokes here.
Yep.
I've never actually had that.
You're not missing much.
I'm also not missing playing the seed where the wyverns have nuke because they just wiped show.
So what you're saying is the Wyverns were putting on a show?
Yeah. Can't say that one really works.
Most of my horrible puns don't work. You just smile and nod and just accept the fact that they're bad.
If I smiled, nobody would know it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Alright, what is going on in the Corneria Treasury, which, by the way, in the newer versions of the randomizer, you can choose to incentivize as they continue to come up with new options for us. And the katana is going to be a welcome sight when Sho gets it, because that actually gives him a weapon for a ninja to use.
Well, that's assuming he actually revives Mousy here.
Katana's a pretty compelling reason to do so.
We've got some gargoyle action over on Monochi's side as Artea still continuing his way down through the depths of the Earth Cave. And ooh, are we seeing an Earth Grind?
I'm guessing he forgot to open the chest after the fight.
Also
Just
that.
guess.
Potentially that too. Yep, he forgot to open the chest.
It's one of those things, if you're even not sure, you better do it anyways. Because you really don't want to leave that one chest behind and have it be something important.
Mm-hmm. So we are going to go ahead and turn in the Adamant to get the Excalibur, which we'll be able to use, once we class change. But also we're going to go ahead and get all of the treasures here in the Dwarf Cave, which we know one of which is the Opal Bracelet.
Yeah, so that's a very welcome sight. It's the best absorb defense that a mage is going to get. So probably the best piece of armor you're going to put onto the red mage. With the white and black mages, you're probably going to do the shirts instead. That's a second ribbon.
Someone's feeling super pretty today.
So 2 ribbons really help your odds of surviving Temple of Fiends Revisited. It lets you put 1 on the white wizard who can bring everybody back to life, and 1 on your major damage dealer to hopefully kill everything off.
All right, so here, since you bring up Temple of Fiends Revisited, I just brought up the translations. Which one do you prefer? Temple of Fiends Revisited or Chaos Shrine of Yore?
I mean, I don't even... What?
in the newer version of the game with the PS1, the Temple
Those don't
of Fiends
exist to me.
But
Those
the translation name
There's no such
is called
thing.
the Chaos Shrine of Yore. So which name do you prefer?
Remakes didn't happen as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you are absolutely no fun at all. Also, we have Cube. And Tail. Tail is in the waterfall. Ding, 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 ding. That's pretty much everything we're going to need. We just got to find ourselves some slab, and that's it.
Yeah, nice slab of bacon, and you're all set.
Bacon is
you
delicious.
Put it on a grilled cheese sandwich, and then you're really good to go.
Actually, you want to know what's really good? You make a grilled cheese the way you normally do, but you have some thinly sliced chicken breast. You make a buffalo chicken bacon grilled cheese sandwich.
It is 1 o'clock on the East Coast. I mean, we're going to make people hungry.
Yeah, we were talking about making delicious stock from the chilled bones in the earth and the Marsh Cave. I mean, of course we're going to make people hungry.
Apparently, show doesn't have warp. I guess it wasn't learnable by the red mage.
Well, that's disappointing.
That is something you would want to make a priority out of. Because, I mean, if you want to be confused, walk out of the waterfall. Because you get so used to casting exit or warp to get out of here that it will really throw you off to walk back.
Also, apparently, according to chat, I'm an evil commentator talking about buffalo chicken, so I only have one response to you for that.
All right, so with the tail, expect Show will go right ahead and turn that in. He'll still have to keep checking for treasure chests to find the slab, which is in 1 somewhere, but it does make your routing choices a little bit different when you're only looking for 1 instead of 2. Artea is taking on Lich, and Minochi seems to be searching for the bottle.
I love the fact that chat has now turned into a let's grade my laugh. I got a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 7, and a 7 out of 10.
I mean, the internet's going to rate everything. It's YouTube's fault. Everything has to be listed.
True. I mean, isn't the correct answer 7.8 out of 10 too much water?
Well, she found the bottle.
Well, she did find the bottle, and Artea is punching a dark elf.
Under a very liberal definition of the word punch.
He has a black belt.
Black belt didn't do anything but stand there.
He tried. Dan tried too.
Moral support.
Dan tried too.
Dan did the job. Dan had nuke.
Yeah, but it's Dan, so he really didn't mean to do the job. Also, we are making our way down Tiamat's obnoxiously long, narrow hallway. Bahamut's obnoxiously long, narrow hallway. That hallway could have been half as long and still been as majestic as it needed to be.
Sho is the first of our featured runners to get class change. That means he gets to use all this shiny equipment that he's been holding onto in his inventory this whole time.
I like toys. Toys are fun.
The Dragon Armor, Aegis Shield, great magic defensive items for the Knight. The White Shirt, now equipable by the White Mage, means you can both have it and not have it occupying an inventory space, except for Sho doesn't have a White Mage, so never mind that. You can equip the Excalibur, which is going to be great for fighting the Fiends. That's an advantage Minochi is not going to have.
Yeah,
Defense sword is
He's
very
going to
nice.
have the defense sword, which is nice. And yes, we are making our way into the Sea Shrine. And there's
And
the
that's the
slab.
That is the last required item, and that might end up with Minochi being the last runner in go, or the first runner in go mode of our featured.
Well, once he's
We'll
out of
see
the Sea Shrine, he'll absolutely go ahead and head over to the waterfall next, pick up the cube and the tail. So yeah, depending on where Sho goes is going to depend on that. Because if he hits Sea Shrine first, he'll probably be in go mode. And Artea turning in the herb to wake up the Prince of Elfland. And here is the key.
So, real quick to run through the items. The TNT was in Matoya's cave, so this was not a Marsh Cave required seed at all. The Castle Ordeal had the adamant and a ribbon in it. Artea has not been there, so he's down a ribbon versus other runners. The Volcano didn't have any of our major progression items. It did have some useful equipment. The Ice Cave had the floater, which all of our featured runners have picked up at this point. The tail was just located not long ago by Sho in Waterfall, and the slab was just located not long ago by Minochi in the Sea Shrine. So they are respectively the only ones who have those items. Also, because of that, Sho is the only one who has class change.
Yep, and Sho's class change is very, very red.
Well, you know, having your enemies so mad that they're seeing red can be an advantage.
Well, that's just bullish.
Bulls are colorblind, actually.
True, it's the waving of the flag that gets them to go after, not the color itself. So you could use any color. Red just makes it more fun.
So thanks to our great tracker Melee Wizard, who hasn't been able to because of technical issues, but Melee's great tracker who has kept up with everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Melee's been doing a spot-up job. So here's my question, and putting Melee on the spot. If you hadn't have just done the recap, I would have been putting Melee on the spot. Who's saying, you got all the notes, what does everybody got? But since you just covered it, Melee, you're good for now.
So I mentioned that routing decisions will change when you're looking for one item versus two. In particular, with the Sea Shrine, what you'll usually see out of people who need just one item is they go to the Kraken side first, because that is the required side. So if you find your item on the side you have to travel anyways, then you're able to cut up the Mermaid side. But if you're looking for two, runners will often go to the Mermaid side first, because they'll get levels and equipment and then go after Kraken. And besides, if you had a choice between seeing mermaids or Kraken, which would you choose?
Kraken, that octopus is super dapper.
So it looks like Sho is going to soon be into the Sea Shrine. Did Minochi wipe to something? Or no, he just went to the mermaid side, so he probably exited out or
Yeah,
warped out.
warped out, healed up, calling it good. Yep, Show gonna go ahead. We're gonna see some Sea Shrine action there, and Artea heading to the waterfall. So Artea gonna find some tail, and we have to also have some poisonous nachos happening.
So if Artea does go back to the two-man strats for Temple of Fiends, that'd be interesting because he'll have 2 ribbons, but if you're going to do that, then at some point you have to shed the Black Mage whether you want to or not, and just get those levels where they need to be. So I wonder if Artea hasn't already decided to do some divergence from his original plan.
Well, it doesn't look like he's caring so much if Dan or Dan is dead or dying, because one Dan's dying and one Dan's dead.
As long as you can cast life with the red mage, then you're able to restore one of the Dans back to life so that they can warp you out of here.
And that's that's good, having the utility around. Wake up! Why? We gotta get out of here. Okay, good. Now go back to dead.
They're just taking a nap, resting their eyes, inspecting the floor.
Yeah, no. They're holding the evil floor at bay so the rest of the party can do their job.
Someone has to make that noble sacrifice.
And who better than Dan? Ooh, another pro cape. But Show opting just to not get it, not care about the pro cape.
Well, if you're only worrying about the one red mage, you only need the one pro cape. Oh, was that the Masmoon?
That was the Masmoon.
So that's a great find for Minochi. With no Excalibur yet, that's by far the best weapon his knight can equip.
Yep, and then he's going to get Clash Chains as soon as he goes and gets to the waterfall. So yeah, we're going to have all kinds of delicious destruction happening over on Minochi's side. Masmoon, Excalibur. Ooh, the carnage is going to be real.
Yeah, and I don't think Sho will get that because it'd be out of the way. Part of the advantage of being in go mode is not needing to check for more things. So he'll probably keep his treasure hunting to a minimum as Artea finds his tail and picks up the cube.
If we have the 2 Grape Shark and 1 Wizsahag encounter. This is a fantastic encounter for experience. I believe it's one of the best experience encounters in the Sea Shrine. I believe it's only topped by Grey Shark and Big Eye. And the Grape Sharks got plenty of HP here in this roll.
Yeah, if they're weak, this can be kind of a grind for experience spot of last resort. But they're not low enough. Once you've already invested a nuke charge in it, though, it's hard not to finish that one off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind, though, is that Wizsahag, Red Sahag encounter you just saw Show doing, that one is unrunnable, just like the Ghosts are unrunnable, so there are a couple of unrunnables here, as well as the Water Elementals. But ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ourselves pretty close to the end of this, so we are going to be seeing my personal favorite enemy here in the entire Final Fantasy I, the most dapper of enemies, the highly sophisticated Kraken.
Feel free to use the emote as much as you want if you've got it. I mean, you can without anybody's permission, but you've got it anyways.
I'm using it. I have permission.
Looks like the waters are a little bit of pain to get past, which could make Temple Fiends water floor interesting. Back-to-back water encounters. You don't see that often.
Someone's thirsty.
The waters by themselves are a little bit rare in Sea Shrine. They're definitely more common in Temple Fiends Revisited, but getting back-to-back ones, that's not going to happen a lot.
And get your dapper out. We got Kraken happening. Ooh, Kraken got a little bit of defense here. We're going for Brack strats. What was that?
Pretty common for Minochi and for Artea. I'm not sure the exact odds. I think it's like 1 in 7, 1 of 8 chances. So when you start throwing 3, 4 casts, 5 casts, you're more likely for it to work than not.
Wait, Kraken's weak to it?
No, it's just that the percentages play out in your favor eventually.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I know Tiamat 1 is weak to poison, so you can bane her.
Of course, if Kraken doesn't have that many HP, then you might have just been wasting time trying it anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so Minochi needs to go to the waterfall now, and as soon as he does that, he'll be in go mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And Artea going to be in go mode once he ends up hitting Sea Shrine as well. So all 3 of our runners here on the main screen are going to be in go mode pretty much right around the same time. And this is where the different strategies, different party makeups is going to come into play, because we have Sho with the Knight, Ninja, Double Red Mage. We've got Minochi with the Fighter 3 Mage. And then we have Artea doing pretty black belt strats.
Of our off-stream runners, it was Wilciosus who actually had the key first, but it looks like otherwise things didn't go very well for him. He's only now in the ice cave to get the floater. So, it kind of just goes to show how good these runners are, the level at which they're able to execute, that even if somebody got the item that they needed that much further than in advance of anybody else, they're still able to play the rest of the game so fast that they end up taking the lead anyways. So it's not just how fast you find things, it's how fast you do the rest of it. And Minochi's in go mode. And Aegis Shield's a nice find too.
Absolutely, especially when it runs right next to your class change.
Yeah, so Aegis Shield is the best shield in the game because it's the same, it's tied for highest absorb, but then the status effects protection makes it the better choice.
Yep, Artea over here in the Sea Shrine. And we've got Sho making his way over to, again, the most dapper of the Fiends. Although, to be fair, Dapper Kraken, and I know you say the remakes didn't exist, but I assume you've seen the remake sprite for Kraken.
I have not.
You haven't? Let me find. Oh my god, the remake sprite for Kraken is that's where Dapper Kraken came from. Let me find it for you.
Alright, Minochi's about to class change. When he does that, he gets to use all of the good equipment. I don't know if he turned in for Excalibur yet, but this actually poses a bit of a dilemma. As far as the final boss goes, you'd absolutely want Moss Immune in the Knight. There'd be no question. For everything before that, there's a case to be made for using Excalibur on the Knight and Moss Immune on the Red Mage, or Red Wizard now. So thus begins the great resorting of equipment.
Which is, kind of crazy. Also, I definitely just sent you a picture of Dapper Kraken.
And it'll be sitting there for me at the end of the race. 2 ribbons for Minochi. I'm not sure if Artea has just 1 or if he was able to get 2. I think he got 2, but he'll never find the 3rd. Other ribbons might be able to find all 3.
Did Artea go to Ordeals?
No, that would be the one he'd miss out on.
Yep.
One was in with the dwarfs, and I didn't write down where the other one was.
I don't think we've seen the 3rd one. I think it was just Dwarves and Castle Ordeals.
Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we saw all 3. The only other place it could be at this point would be Sky Castle or Marsh Cave.
Yep. And the one good thing about this is we are going to get Go Mode, Mirage Tower, and Sky Castle.
You know, personally, I don't feel too bad about checking for treasures in there. It's just usually you don't need to by the time you're there. Percentage-wise, it's going to work out that way. But if you're also taking a get experience and levels as you go approach, that is a good place to invest your time, because before Temple of Fiends, it's your best source of experience.
Yeah, and there is a large contingent of chests there, especially super early in the Mirage Tower.
Alright, Minochi is going to make the long walk to this supposedly advanced civilization who is somehow incapable of making contact with or speaking to the rest of the world. But they're advanced. We know this because they tell us.
But I could tell you I'm advanced too. You're not going to believe me.
Well, I know you. I don't know them.
So if somebody you just meet on the street randomly for the first time tells you they're advanced, you're just going to believe them at face value?
I don't know. I'd have to consider it. Depends on if they ever built an airship or not. I mean, if somebody has built an airship, that's going to improve their credibility quite a lot with me. Apparently, Kraken has damage poison, by the way. That can really wreck you early on. Later game, it's not going to be as bad when it's like an enemy. If you're taking 5 or 6 of them in one round, that's just going to be a bad day, though.
Yeah, poison imps are bad.
Well, a single imp with poison is going to be bad at the start of the game, but... Let's say the Sahags, for example. If you're looking at a pack of 6 of them that are casting it, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, there's nothing fun there.
Orb for show. He did pick up the slab, so he's in go mode. Wasn't sure if he'd done both sides yet, but he had. Minochi is on to his last shrine, which is this Mirage Tower, then Sky Castle. And again, setting up that encounter manipulation. Not taking the easy treasure chests on the first floor, though. That's always kind of that dilemma of what do you do in go mode? How many treasure chests do you check? And part of it depends on what you're still looking for. But 2 ribbons, dragon armor, Aegis shield, opal bracelet. There's just not really a lot else to find.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's really not a whole lot that Minochi would need with Excalibur, with Mass Moon, with all that. Yeah, just, you know, hit the pedal to the metal, put that thing down, go 90 and end this thing.
I mean, at this point, we've seen so much that 65k gold might honestly be the best treasure chest remaining.
Yeah, or the ribbon if we've miscounted. But yeah, that's about it, really. There's not a whole lot. So Marsh Cave would have had nothing. I'm trying to think of what the wizard chest would have had.
It wasn't incentivized, so it could be anything.
Yeah. Well, probably Ruby, honestly.
not a ruby required seed. Did have one of those in these stages, as I well know. Well, apparently Ortega didn't actually go to Kraken yet, so working on that now.
Yep. And apparently the mentioning of buffalo controllers has more people thinking about more delicious buffalo chicken. Now here's my question, okay? Ranch or blue cheese?
Neither. Oh, well, there's the third ribbon, and it was in one of the go mode. So, that was perfect for Minochi. I don't even know what the point of checking the other 3 chests is at this point.
You're here?
That'll work out well for Artea, though. That'll give him 2 ribbons at the end instead of just 1.
Assuming he checks them. But yes,
at least 50-50, if not better. He'll check those.
Yeah, but I do tend to agree with you. Nothing is the correct answer. Although I do love blue cheese.
Yeah. So when you're in go mode, there's obviously not a lot of incentive to invest time in checking treasure chests. But there's something like 10 to 12 that are really easy to access even when you are in go mode, like these 2 that Artea is checking now. So when you add up all those numbers, that actually gives you a fairly decent shot about finding one of the things you would like. And Chad, if you're rooting for Warmech, here we go. Bridge of Destiny time for Minochi.
Let's go, Warmech. Let's go, Warmech.
I said cheering, not chanting.
Do you really want to see me with pom-poms and a miniskirt?
I'm gonna say, let's see if we find Warmech.
That's fair. And
Warmech with pom-poms and a skirt would be interesting.
It really would be. And Sho was not actually in go mode. He hadn't been to the Earth Cave yet. No crown.
I didn't even realize that on Sho's part, so that play ends up working out well, that it was early enough. No Warmechs today. Pom-poms or otherwise.
We still have 2 more featured runners who will check that for us.
They would have to do something different on their RNG encounters to get it different there. Tiamat unleashes Thunder. But if you do the same thing where Minochi did a reset, 2 encounters off, and then walk through without checking treasures, then they're going to get the exact same encounters.
True, but that's also variable in the amount of encounters they get depending on the chest they check out.
Yeah, so all Minochi did was check that one room that had the ribbon. If anybody does anything different than that, there's a chance they'll see Warmech, but if they do exactly the same thing, then we know it'll be no Warmechs.
Also, chat, I just want to tell you all right now that I love you and hate you in the same moment, because apparently there is a non-insignificant number of yeses in the chat about wanting to see me with pom-poms and a miniskirt.
Well, with the delay, are we sure that it was that versus Warmech in that?
I'm pretty sure it was that, because there's more discussion about it.
Okay.
But I'm going to accept the fact that chat just wants to see me embarrass myself.
Isn't that the reason we do commentary in the first place?
I do commentary because I like to hear the sound of my own voice.
Well, I mean, that's on the list. It also has a nice benefit for everybody else that we can blame you. Which you don't
that's
do commentary.
That's why you
but...
like me to do commentary. Yeah, you like it I do commentary because I can just be blamed for everything.
Wallet level 6 is a nice find, especially if you have a ribbon shortage, which Minochi doesn't, but still thought that counts. Good time to take a moment and say thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us today. Nice to be on Speed Gaming 3, and appreciate Fiesel with all the work he's done with Speed Gaming. Also appreciate Clifford, who got us all set up today, and just want to take a moment to appreciate them.
Yep, Kraken going full on inky and releasing poison, killing both Dans, which is exactly what should happen with a Dan.
And there goes the Fiend of Water for Artea. So Artea still has a dungeon to go to try and catch up to Minochi. Minochi is going around getting spells and stuff for his party, getting the full benefits of class change. Artea won't have much of that to do at all. And Sky Castle is actually pretty quick in go mode. I think Artea will only be 5 to 6 minute range to get through it.
Yes, we're going to go ahead and pick up fast, which is going to be a huge boon, especially with the Mass Mune.
Yeah, that'll get you through a lot of tough fights. Sho has got his Orb of the Earth restored.
That was a pretty fast Earth Cave. I mean, once you don't have to check chests.
Well, indeed, that's one of the other reasons people like to do it last, is because if you're in go mode, it's just so much faster to get through there. But that's true of most of the dungeons. I mean, honestly, Volcano you can go through in about 3 minutes if you don't have to check chest.
Yeah, but the thing is, Volcano, you're usually going to check pretty much all the chests because you can get access to it early, and it's got a metric ton of chests.
You and your metric system.
Oh wow. Oh no, never mind. That's a dot time, not a dot down. I'll open the IRC for a second. I'm like, that's a dot. No, that's a dot time.
Yeah.
I'm like, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Holy crap!
Yeah, that would have been a little faster than most people were going to finish this. So apparently, Temple of Fiends opened us up with a nice unrunnable encounter from Minochi. Also, he gets in here at 1:35, and I kind of like to know when people enter it for the first time.
Yeah, although apparently chat wants the commentators to do some show tune singing, so you in?
If the moment comes, we'll see.
Okay, so you got to be in the moment here. Don't got to force it.
You can't just do it. You don't want to force these things.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Level 18 for Minochi is pretty low, I would say, for this situation, but if the enemy scaling is kind to you, it will work out.
However, that's some bad men right there, and the Black Wizard Stog just,
He just didn't have a lot of HP, and I imagine Minochi will probably leave it down until after carry.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. If this was the regular speed run, you would see the two mages, which would be red mages in this case, actually be turned to stone by the green Medusas in the earth floor to help them survive, be alive after Lich 2's nuke, which is the first spell on his list. Because the mages at that point aren't going to have enough HP to survive, and there's not going to be a life spell on them, so you'll turn them to stone to be able to get through the nuke. And usually you'll keep them in the stone status until right before you fight carry, too.
And that's what happens when I try and predict what runners are going to do. They do the exact opposite. And apparently Minochi put the mouse black mage, so there's that as well. Both mages down.
But that's why we have life on the red mage. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any life charges on the red wizard, on the knight, because, well, that whole class change thing I was talking about earlier.
So as far as dungeon progression, Minochi is going to got into Temple of Fiends Revisited 2 minutes ago, and Sho is just now entering Mirage Tower. Just to kind of put in contrast where they are in their runs.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Minochi has a huge lead.
He has a lead.
Well, as of right now, it's a huge. Right. I mean, as of right now, for the three people on screen, it's a huge lead. you and I both know this is an RPG. There's all kinds of ways that this can be messed up, but just based on pure what we see, it's a huge lead.
It's his race to lose. Let's call it that. Alright, so Minochi is on the floor of Lich, and we will see how this one goes.
We have some Mudgalls here. We have more stakes happening over on Artea's side. I'm not sure why we were in the... oh, that's right. Nuking Wyverns.
He needs the levels. That doesn't help him get the levels, but for solo black belt, he really needs it to be level 32. I mean, more than that is better. 42 would be better than 32, or 40 would be better than 32 anyways, but when that is the strat you're going, that's the kind of levels you're wanting, especially at these percentages. The higher levels aren't as needed, but 32 is what you want to do. I keep repeating that.
You do keep repeating that, and we have some Earth Elementals down in the Temple of Fiends revisited for Minochi, and oh yeah, the Earth Elementals have Stun Touch. I forgot about that.
Now, Sho is on a fight I would have liked to see Artea check out, and he might right here. But this Blue Dragon is one of these trap tiles that you can fight infinitely, and you can do it with no encounters. So if you need levels, it's a good one to check out to see how tough it is. And if he had the Moss Immune, I don't know if he did or not, but putting that on the black belt probably would one-shot these Blue Dragon.
That's not good.
Yeah, this was giving him the business.
Personal foul, Blue Dragon, offense. It was giving him the business.
Well, move the ribbon, move the defense, and see what you got. And hope that every encounter you get is an eye.
That's true. Save the cheerleader, save the world as well.
Minochi, meanwhile, is onto the fire floor, and this is the fastest floor. You just walk in one big loop, and then there's Carrie.
Faster? Is it really faster than Tiamat's floor?
Pretty sure. Especially if whether you're factoring in Mosby and chest.
Oh no, we're talking go mode here. Oh wow, Carrie hits like a truck.
Well, the only unrunnable on this floor would be the fire elementals, which are a more rare encounter than the unrunnables you're going to get on Tiamat's floor. So yes, I'll stand by my statement that this is the faster one.
Okay,
Sho is going to miss out on that other ribbon.
At this point, he pretty much has to. He's pot committed to solo black belt.
No, Sho.
Sho, excuse me, I thought I said Artea. Never mind. My B. I'm watching solo black belt happen.
Yep.
So because of that, we could potentially get
Artea is going to get the ribbon.
Yep.
By the way, that room is safe. There's no encounters there, no matter how many steps he takes back and forth, because anytime you're walking against the wall with the door on it, there's no encounters. As soon as you leave, though, that's when the encounters happen again.
Yep, we have some waters being nuked over there on Minochi's side, so we are showing everybody how to boil water.
Alright, Minochi is having a good water floor here. We'll see how this goes.
Yep, and because Sho opted to not go ahead and pick up the ribbon there, we have the potential of seeing Warmech. Highly unlikely, but we have the potential.
Yeah, so what happened is Minochi took a couple extra steps, and if that moved an encounter up, then that means at the end of the bridge, Sho could still potentially get the Warmech.
Yeah, but oh, Kraken killing both the white and black mages here. But you know, we're still alive because we still have life on the red wizard and the knight.
Yeah, that's really powerful to have have a life spell on the knight. And it's not a 50% chance, but it's a significant chance that you're going to get one of them. It just really helps because if he's able to squeak through, then you can restore a party back.
Ooh, Tiamat starting off with Inferno. You can tell the three people who have the protection.
Can't keep a black mage alive sometimes.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I think more people get the reference that have actually seen the movie.
True, true. Did you get where I was going with that?
Oh yeah, great movie.
Cheesy
Used
as
to rerun it
hell.
all the time. Out of fade charges is a little unfortunate.
Alright, so no Bane through ribbon happening, so that's good. We do have multiple Tiamats happening on screen, however, one is not like the other. However, good
They're
thing
exactly
for...
like the other. Both of them are dead.
Yeah, true. Good thing for Minochi, that Tiamat, extremely squishy.
I don't like that Minochi returned the Black Mage to life and then didn't heal it. I'd have just saved it for the next floor, or healed him up before going to the next floor. Either way, but now they kill it. Now you have to revive it again. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep, and you'll notice that we're trying to run from the air elementals here. Air elementals are the only elemental that you can actually run from.
Yeah, what's unfortunate, though, is he doesn't have a good party member for running. Thieves are the best. Black mages are actually the second best. But finally,
keep them alive.
and he did it again. He restored the Black Mage with the 1 HP, but now he's going to heal it. So, the solo strats for Artea didn't work out so well. He's now 10 minutes behind when Minochi entered this Temple of Fiends, revisited for context. And that's going to be roughly when Sho enters it.
Yeah, so right now this is absolutely Minochi's race to lose. It's going to be how well does Chaos play with others. Because we have the fast, we're going to be able to probably get... Ooh, purple worms have crack.
The second enemy that have it, actually. So that was probably on the Medusa script today. Medusa script meaning that there's Medusas in the original game, and they're one of 3 enemies share the same script. So that script is out there 3 times in the randomizer. What does this chaos have to offer? I do want to mention, what happened today with Artea is he was potentially a strat that could have paid off and done this faster than anybody else. It's just the way the seed actually played out, that didn't happen. But that was him playing defense and trying to specifically deny Minochi a win.
Alright, here we go. We are fighting Chaos.
So there's a couple of things you can do to improve your odds. One of them is to raise your evade, which will help you resist Chaos's melee attacks, which tend to be on the high side. 3 casts of Ruse are usually enough. It would take 6 casts of Invis too, so if you've got the defense sword for Ruse and then double Invis 2s, that pretty quickly starts to put you up towards max evasion. Question in chat, why is that fighter green? Because it's not a fighter, it's a belt. I assume you mean Arteas.
Because it's not easy being green.
I haven't seen too much of the big AoE attacks come out of this chaos yet. The things you're worried about are the nukes and the nuclears, and if he's got a cure for in the bank.
Yep, so the only thing we saw so far was we didn't have an XXXX from this chaos, which actually missed Stog, the Black Wizard.
Might be a little high on the absorb, though. Only did 300 damage with the fasted and tempered mouse immune there. So stacking the temper casts makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the other thing that's nice, though, is Chaos has been pretty nice. It's been melee attack, Brack, or Quadruple X, which missed, and then Lit, too. So this Chaos has been very, very forgiving right now. And there was Rub. Wow, this Chaos, as of right now, super, super nice.
Yeah, even if he rolls out with something nasty, it's going to be so buried in his list that if he wrapped around the entire list again, it wouldn't be that bad. But these bosses all share one pool of spells, skills, abilities. And when I say these bosses, I mean the 4 Fiends in Temple of Fiends Revisited, Chaos, and Warmac.
Right, so we haven't seen Nuke or Nuclear yet.
That Chaos is hitting quite a lot if he hit mono for that much, and that was only one hit. But all those Invis 2 stacks he already put on made such a difference there that without them, the Knight probably would have been dead.
Oh, there's either a second cast of XXXX and Chaos' spell list, or we've looped back to the beginning. If that's the case, this is a very easy spell list to get away from.
Yeah, it looks like maybe high HP and high absorb on this Chaos, but he's not doing a lot of damage, so he's going to be very killable.
Nope, it's a second copy of XXXX, but so far we've had XXXX, Lit 2, XXXX, and Ice 2. This spell list on Chaos, oh my gosh, it's super, super easy. We also have Show over there already making his way to Carry 2.
Yeah, Show's making good progress. That can be from a different entry in the encounter table. He came in here 5 minutes ago, and it took Minochi 15 minutes to get this. That is a very good hit against Chaos. I'd say we're definitely above vanilla HP now.
Yeah, the problem is Chaos hitting like an absolute truck.
And that's really the only thing you have to worry about, but if for some reason you had to redo this fight, you would just answer that by doing Defense Sword 3 times.
Right, that's being
close, though.
Getting really close.
Yeah, the maximum HP he can have here is something like 4,400, I think.
Well, if it's 200%, if it was a 200 or 200, yeah, because 200% would be 4,000. But that 962 is going to do it. Minochi going to go ahead and finish in first place in this league race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 21 seconds.
And for the league, that means officially we're going to the tiebreakers because now Minochi and Artea are tied for the lead. 8 stages. They've both been perfect. They've picked up a win in every single round. Minochi will probably join us in a little bit here. Tristal still has a chance to keep his place in the club, but he will have to pick up a win to do so.
Yep, and Artea going to be making his way into the Temple of Fiends Revisited as well.
I'm actually a little surprised Artea is playing it out, but maybe he just wants to test a strategy or something.
Yep. Also, I love the fact that the Black Wizard sprites for Artea are the Magus sprites from Final Fantasy III.
Well, that probably more of an 8-bit theater reference directly.
I have not seen 8-bit theater in a long time.
And you're doing commentary for Final Fantasy I. Tisk tisk. Alright, so as far as the league goes, we have 5 more matches ahead. The next one will be 3 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure you filed your taxes, everyone. But Tristal will have 5 more chances. The wrap-up of the league, this stage of the league, will be Sunday the 22nd at 1 o'clock. That'll be on one of the Speed Gaming family of networks. I'm just not sure which one. That'll be worked out at some point in time. And then we will have a best-of-3 tiebreaker series to decide the league championship. We now know that that is going to happen because of the tie between Minochi and Artea.
The question is it going to be 2 people or 3 people?
Tristal will make his case for trying to make it 3. But clearly Artea has no plans to make that easy on anyone. Chat says they remember when Ask Red Mage answered their question. My only question is, did your question involve Febreze?
What?
Good grief, man, you need to go revisit things. Gotta have your FF1 memes.
If it's not Lord Banana, I don't care.
If I at least say sword checks, do you know what I mean? As Bane shows party the business.
Yes, I understand sword checks.
Okay, well, at least there's some hope for you. So again, it's a good time to say thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us today, and to our runners who have put on a great show for us. Again, Artea and Minochi are now tied for the lead of the league. And is that a Minochi ding?
Oh, that's a ding for Minochi.
Hi, Minochi. Well, sometimes you have to get things set up and working first.
Did it work?
It worked now.
There he is.
Thanks, guys. Good game.
I guess my biggest question about your route is the decision to go Earth when you did.
The first time around or the second time? The second time it was closed.
Second time.
It was close by. I dropped by and checked the free chest, and then I just dropped by.
Alright, well that gave you the crown. Did you think you were checking it sooner than other runners would, or did you think that was going to be a commonplace?
With the slap and the still out there, I don't know where it is, so it's a commonplace, I think. Or did I check it first out of all the players?
Yeah, as far as our featured runners go, you definitely found it first, but that ended up being the play everybody made. Well, Sho didn't. Sho did not go to Earthgate first, but Artea did. So otherwise, what did you think of that Chaos fight?
Scary. He crit me twice with, I don't know, I cast Invis 2 for like 12 times, maybe more. He still hit me with a crit.
So here is Sho on the fight now. Took you about 2 minutes or so to get through this fight.
Yeah, Sho on the Chaos fight, Artea on the Earth floor, because we're fighting some Earth Elementals.
So now you get the tiebreakers to look forward to, Mono.
Not so. Have you seen the flags? It's scary.
I haven't tried them out yet.
The first
But
flag
there's going to be some very interesting rules to this.
The first flag is easy. The second flag was... It's okay. It's just the tracking that scares me. And the third flag's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, here's my question for you: is we have the option of an open party here. Choose what you want. You have to go with the 3 mage route. What is the reasoning behind going with the 3 mage, 1 melee?
Super safe. I get exit, I get warp, I get 2 melee, kinda. Red mage is considered a half melee, so that's pretty safe. It's a safe party. It's kind of boring though.
Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes playing it safe turns out the way you need to, and hey, it definitely turned out the way you need it to.
And Show, meanwhile, has finished in second place, time of 158.22. I think that pretty well secures his 4th place finish in the league. Show is infamous for dragging along his .01 score for most of this league. In the first round, he was only able to get that .01. And held it pretty consistently, I think, till last round.
Hello, hello.
Go, GG.
Speaking of show,
Yeah, GG's mono.
GG show.
Man, that was a pretty beefy chaos.
You actually had an easier time with it than Mono did, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got like crit twice by chaos.
Ooh.
I had to drink some potions, man. Feels bad, dude.
Did you steal a noble bracelet to get those potions?
No, I grind. POP for those. But yeah, I would have though.
What was your party?
Red mage, white mage, black mage, and a fighter.
Okay, so you went mage heavy. Well, it was good for black magic, nuke level 2. I mean, white magic was pretty good too. Well, fade. There was no healing though, not a whole lot anyways.
It's level 5 and 6, heal 3 and heal 2, but it's good enough, I think.
Yeah, and red mage was able to learn heal 3, so that was pretty good.
Well, Show, I said before you came in that I think you pretty well locked down that you're at least going to be 4th in this league. So Minochi gets to do the tiebreakers, but kind of give us your thoughts on the whole thing so far.
Well, you know, I want to thank Maya for putting together this league. You know, it's been, 16 weeks, I guess. But it's made it, the part that's been really fun is, like, it's challenged me in ways that I, haven't done before. Like, makes me think a little bit, with the different party configurations, the different enemy percentages, and different goal sets, the item hunts, the kill Lich, that was pretty fun. So, like, I definitely enjoyed the league, even though it was definitely frustrating at times. But yeah, it definitely challenged me in FFR because, normally I'd like to run black belts and punch my way through everything and high XP and, make it really fast. But this is, I think made me better overall.
It's definitely been good about making us all think a little bit differently of some things. I mean, I think we all took Astos a little for granted until all of a sudden we saw what he could be in the 4 white mage seed.
Yeah.
I did change my mindsets on the thieves a lot, though.
Yeah, like, running away is, has become a pretty big thing. So they're not totally useless, but still.
No, but once you class change, it's still really good.
Yeah. I had a thief in my party today. So that helped me, like, run from a lot of things. I did Danon for a while so I could level up.
By the way, Artea's current party, if you don't have this up, is a black belt and a red mage.
What? That is highly unusual.
Yeah, that was kind of my reaction at the start of things. He also didn't really level up the black belt per se. I don't even think it's level 30.
No. Lol BB. That's pretty funny. I would have definitely never expected him to like run a black belt.
One of our off-stream runners, Brilliant and Insane, has just finished in 3rd place with a time of 2:03. And it looks like these waters have given Artea a little too much of the business. So with that white, he is going to be completed with his run.
Yeah, he already got
This
first,
is a
right?
good time to ask Mano any final thoughts.
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
What's for lunch?
Buffalo chicken, come on.
Mono's eating pizza. That's what he's
Probably
doing.
sushis.
Right, Sho, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think the league has been really great. You know, a long, a long 16 weeks, but really fun. A good learning experience for me. You know, so thank you, Maya, for putting this all together. So, if I secured top 4, I'm pretty happy. I was hoping to finish with a .01, like for the season, but the stage 7 got me. So.
All right. Well, thank you both and all of our runners for giving us a great show today. I'll echo the thanks to Maya, who put all this together. It's real easy to say you want to do something, but then to actually coordinate it and put it together is an entirely different animal. Thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us today, especially Clifford, who was our mini Fiesel, getting us online today. I'm Trenton. It's been my pleasure to be with you, even when you includes TGE, who I'm going to let get the last word on this one.
All right, everybody, thank you very much. If you haven't done so already, please follow all of our runners. Keep your eyes peeled for everything happening over on Speed Gaming. And on behalf of everybody here, thank you very much. And remember to always, of course, keep hailing.